President of the United Steelworkers, Leo Gerard. How do the wage earners of America feel about what's going on? Leo, good to have you on tonight. Mr. Gerard, who's to blame for this capitulation? Is it Joe Lieberman?
Look, I can tell you, Ed, that you started off about saying, how do the wage earners feel? I just finished a second day of a two-day executive board meeting of our union, and I could tell you this, every board member is angry. Our members out there are angry. The fact of the matter is that Joe Lieberman is holding up what could be a good bill. And in fact, Joe Lieberman, we need to remember, he campaigned with the John McCain. He spoke to the Republican convention. He spoke in favor, though, in September of this year of buying into a Medicare option, and somehow he's changed his mind. People are angry and they're blaming Joe. The fact of the matter is it's not the president. The president's values are right. The president came to this with the right approach, with the exception of one thing. I love this guy a lot, but I think he came and he got hoodwinked. The insurance industry said we're for reform. Joe and others said they're reform, and when we get to the last minute, they're trying to pull the rug out from under this.
You think President Obama was naive in all of this?
I think he's just too decent a person. He thinks that because it's right, people ought to do it, and what we're learning is that people don't always do what's right. I heard Senator Brown talk about the excise tax and so-called Cadillac plans. I don't hear Joe Lieberman standing up for the ordinary working person. There's not Cadillac plans. They're expensive plans. They happen in small workplaces. They happen in large workplaces. When you've got an experience rating and the insurance company jacks your rate up, if you're now paying $20,000 for family coverage, and in a couple of years by medical inflation it goes up to $23,000, $24,000, $25,000, $26,000. Workers are going to get taxed for that. They're going to fall out of the health care system. There's going to be more trouble in the workplace.
So who's to blame for all of this? I mean, the unions did an awful lot collectively to win Senate seats, to support Barack Obama, to put him in office. You got to feel let down tonight.
Well, I'm angry at all the Republicans because the Republicans aren't doing what's right for this country, and I'm angry at what I call the insurance company Democrats. And we've got more than Joe Lieberman. Joe Lieberman is now at the corner of it, but just a few days ago it was Ben Nelson. Before that it was Blanche Lincoln. Before that it was Mary Landrieu.
Will the unions work against these people in re-election?
I can tell you this, point blank, if we don't get a meaningful health care bill that reduces costs and has everybody in and doesn't have an excise tax, has a pay or play for employers, has a public option or a Medicare buy-in, we're not going to campaign for any Democrat that voted against this bill, and we're going to go out and try and defeat them.
Well, I wouldn't want you guys against me if I were running for office. I can tell you that. You had a tremendous impact in 06 and 08.
Ed, let me tell you this. I go to the bargaining table almost every day, or our other leaders do. And every day we're barely hanging on like cats on a windowsill to health care. The costs are going through the roof. America spends 17% of its gross domestic product, more than any other country. We can't continue giving this control to the insurance companies. It does not make sense. Drug importation, this is a Canadian accent. I came to America 16 years ago. You know what? Drug companies make drugs in America. They ship them to Canada. We re-import them back, the same drug, and we can save money. This is more hypocrisy. This is more misrepresentation. And we need to fight for what's right with the country. And by fighting for what's right with the country, we'll do what's right for people.
Leo Gerard, always a pleasure. Good to have you on speaking truth to power. Thank you.
Ed, I'm angry as hell.
I know you are. And a lot of Americans are. And capitulation is the word, but they keep telling us, they've been telling us for 6 months, they don't have 60 votes. It's almost like they've walked themselves into this. But let me ask you before you go, if I could bring you back,
sure.
What about no health care reform, and what about just seeing them in the midterm? What's the political ups and downs of that?
I'm a fighter, and I come from a fighting union. Yeah. I don't want to give up. Yeah. I believe that the House has got a good bill. Hopefully it's going to have to go to committee. We're going to fight like crazy to make sure that we get a good bill out. I'm not prepared to give up. I want to fight and get a good bill out of this.
Okay.
American people deserve this, and President Obama, whose values are right, he deserves this.
Leo, good to have you on. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.